Well, that's a gosh darn good price. That's a good deal. Like, I'm not gonna pass down that deal. Like, you buy a chicken sandwich, you get a Whopper for 50 cents. That seems pretty high. You know what I'm saying? What up again, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Thank You Five podcast with your host Ryan Anthony and my squeaky chair in my room. I need to get a new chair. Hopefully, I will get a new chair. I actually recorded like 3 minutes worth of stuff and said I'm tired of saying like I hate hearing all the fillers, so I'm gonna go back and try to start over, and that's what I'm doing. So this is like take number 2 of trying to record this whole episode, and I'm gonna do my best to be conscious of where I might say and just try to talk through it. So I have noticed that I haven't been doing the best in terms of prioritizing what I want to do. I've more so been trying to focus on what I have to do. But you know the whole saying of you have to do what you have to do in order to do the things that you want to do and all that blah blah nonsense, right? So I want to start by giving a shout out to 1939 Studios. If you guys haven't seen or you don't follow them on their platforms, Instagram, Facebook, I don't know if they have a Twitter, but I don't have a Twitter, and also YouTube. 1939 Studios recently released Tale of Tarot on their website for rent and for purchase for a reasonable price at that. To buy it, I believe it's under $10. I think it charged me $9, either like $7 or $9, one of those two, probably including the tax. It's probably somewhere in between. But most recently, Tale of Tarot got released on Amazon Prime. Like, the Amazon Prime. The site that we all go to shop and to even watch TVs and movies and such. Tale of Tarot is on Amazon Prime Videos. So if you go to Amazon Prime Videos and type in Tale of Tarot, you're going to find it. It's not even a matter of you have to scroll down. It's literally going to be the first thing there. And you know what else that means? That means everybody that was in it that wants to claim their IMDb credit is going to get an IMDb credit for Tale of Tarot. That's huge for 1939. And this is only their third movie. That's the part that's so amazing about what they've been able to do with this. Seeing the first one, working with them on the second one, and then being in their third one, for it to only be 3 movies and them to have made this much progress is a true testament to the team that they've been able to establish there and the work ethic of the people that they've been able to establish. And it is just an honor just to know who they are, let alone having the opportunity to work with them. So shout outs to Shalom, the CEO, and the entire 1939 studio team, because they are doing some great things. Great things. All right. I haven't really done many episodes where I talk about myself as an actor. I think I did it on my last one, but up until that, the main purpose of this was to talk about my experiences in being an actor and a writer and director and all the other things that I've done with theater and this slight dabbling I've done with film. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my personal experience with Tale of Tarot. Now, I'm not going to tell the movie, but I do want you guys to go and watch it. If you have Amazon Prime, then you're going to get that joint automatically. But if you don't have Amazon Prime, you can rent it or just buy it off of their website, 1939studios.com. Like 1939 studios with an S.com. Alright. So I played the character of Miles. I don't think he had a last name, and I just said I played the character of Miles. I can't remember if he had a last name. They as in the writers, director, they consider Miles a part of the core 4 cast members. Those 4 cast members, including Miles, is Isla, Delia, and Esau, along with Miles. And then I guess the secondary cast members are Esau's family. What are the names? Oh well, the name it escapes me. But out of those four core actors, I consider Miles probably the bottom of that list in terms of his overall impact to the plot because they call him the core four, but at the same time, he ain't do that much. Again, I don't want to tell the movie, but you know, looking at me personally, looking at the three other actors that I was working with, Shalom playing Isla, Sadia playing Delia, and Emmanuel playing Esau, I definitely kind of felt like, oh yeah, I'm definitely at the bottom of this totem pole list, and not in terms of just self-deprecation, like I didn't have confidence in myself, but knowing that between the four of us, I have like the least experience with film, and I definitely would trust their instincts. Like their instincts are a lot stronger because they've been doing this longer and again have more experience. I'm not saying that my instincts aren't strong, but like I said, it's a matter of just acknowledging, calling it for what it is. So one of the biggest things I had to really work on within myself, and it's still kind of a thing, I had to get rid of this self image that I have of myself because we're constantly self critical on ourselves, and me being a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my work, I can be a bit hard on myself and I can beat myself up and hold myself to standards that a lot of times are unachievable and they're not feasible whatsoever. And one of the things that helped me remove that was understanding that, hey, you're going to be on camera and the director is going to see what you look like on camera. So if the director likes what they see on camera, that's what you need to worry about. Worry about, like, make sure that you're blocking it straight and make sure that you're saying whatever you're saying and being in the moments that they need you to be in, how they want you to do it, because they're the ones telling you essentially what to do. Now, Alex, being the very naturalist director that he is, didn't have to give much to a lot of people. He trusted their instincts and we trusted his guidance to say, yo, just tell us what you need to have happen and we'll make it happen, with our own personal skills. And if there were things that he needed to fix, he would fix it. If there were questions that he wanted to ask, he would ask them. If there was specific direction that he wanted to give, he would give it. But it wasn't like we walked in and he literally had A through Z, say it like this, do it like this, stand like that. And one, that shows he trusts us. And two, that also shows that he gets it. Like, the best directors think like actors. Like, actors really do make the best directors, in my opinion. Like, if you're an actor first, you're going to know how to communicate properly to the actor what you want them to do. And you're going to already almost be thinking the same things in terms of your choices that you make when you're in those scenes. And that was one thing that was very prevalent, even in the rehearsal process. Like, he would say stuff, and I would see, like, Shalom or Emmanuel kind of thinking the same exact thing. Or they would do something without Alex needing to tell them, and Alex would be like, yeah, like, that's what I'm looking for right there. And it was a really, again, natural process to developing this character. Now, this is also a point for Alex and Shalom, who were the casting directors. The way they casted these characters, it made so much sense, right? Miles is this he can be a gentleman, but for the most part, he's kind of not even so much a goof, but he's not the smoothest cat, but then again, he's not just some loser either, right? So when they offered it to me to even audition, I'm looking at the description. I'm like, wow, this is really like me. This is hilarious. How similar I am to this character. So approaching it was very easy and it was very enjoyable. Like, I had a lot of fun playing the character, honestly, because he could be so in the back, but when he needed to come out, he would. Working with like doing whatever scenes I was doing with Sadia was great because Miles is supposed to be like he has this crush on Delia, which is played by Sadia, and I'm not gonna like I don't want to like snitch on myself, but like I didn't have a crush on Sadia, but Sadia is very pleasant to be around as a person, so it was very easy for me to translate that energy into like okay, Miles is supposed to be smitten with her essentially every time he sees her. So it was easy to go into that again because Sadia is such a dope person to be around. I felt very comfortable around her. So it made it easy to be uncomfortable around her like Miles was. I'm watching like I'm at the theater and I'm watching this happen. I'm watching the two of them interact. And part of me is just like, oh my God, this is so cringe because it's me. But then once I'm like, all right, cool. It's just like when you step into a pool and that initial cold shock, and the longer you stay in, the more your body adjusts to it, or the quicker your body adjusts to it. Like if you just go straight in. So watching it, it's like, all right, just okay. It's the character. Don't look at it as yourself. Look at it as Miles. Don't look at it as Ryan. It was just really adorable seeing how Miles was really trying this whole movie, to do what he was trying to do. And, you can watch it to see how it fared and even what he did to go about it. But it was just really adorable watching Miles and Delia. I'm just like, I was really rooting for Miles. Like, I was rooting for Miles the whole time. And it was even funnier after the movie. We're out in the lobby and people are coming up to me and be like, yo, I was really rooting for Miles. Like, bump the other love triangles or whatever, bump the other relationships in the movie. They were rooting for Miles. Miles was really an underdog. And that's really funny because that's not to say that's kind of how I am, but I'm used to being that guy. I'm used to being the dude that doesn't necessarily look like he would get the girl, but miraculously is able to through perseverance and just overall charm and a good heart. Miles has a really good heart, and that's really hard to come by nowadays, especially with this being a time period like being the 1800s. So I'm even more certain it was hard to come by back then because they couldn't really do nothing. It's not like they had sports and activities. Well, I guess if that's the case, it would have been easier to have a good heart because you have so much time to just self-reflect and just to be like, oh, well, do I have a good heart? I would hope so, right? Playing those accents were really fun. I missed every single dialect session with the coach that was giving us the dialect training, and I felt really bad, bro, because I'm sure the accent would have been a lot better had I like picked at the brains of this coach who specializes in these accents. So to speak kinda in the accent that I used when I played Miles, it was again quite a thrilling experience to be able to portray that and essentially remove the whole self, but still being able to attach parts of your actual self to applying it to the character that you are trying to embody. And it was quite a thrill to be able to take parts and aspects of my own self and apply it to Miles. And I think, again, the audience very much found the experience pleasant. It's also funny to think that Miles is a gardener, and I'm like, they really don't know that I do landscaping. Like, the casting could not have been more perfect. And then, because I didn't have like one-on-one scenes with these people, Shalom and Emmanuel, yo. Oh, just chef's kiss. It is amazing watching. It's amazing watching Emmanuel work. It's amazing watching Shalom work. So to watch them work together, wow. You want to talk about like you're in awe. And if Shalom sees this, she's gonna tell me to stop. I don't care. Watching her work is is very much enjoyable because I've done scene work with Shalom. I have not done one-on-one stuff with Emmanuel yet. I will be in the future. I will force him to do scenes with me. But I've done stuff with Shalom just for theater stuff. So this is like scenes for theater, not scenes for film. So the approach, again, is very different from theater to film. Theater, you have your actions that you play just like in film, but in theater you have to engage your full body to be able to play those actions a lot of times, and there's sometimes a lot more movement. There's a little more body gestures versus film. Everything's very still, and you have to play those actions almost with your feet planted, basically. And like, how can you show it through your face? How can you show it through your tone? How can you show it through your cadence? You can show your cadence through in theater, but a lot of times you got to project. So it's not like you can say stuff in a hushed tone in theater versus you can get away with saying something this low and it carrying that much more weight in film, right? You know what I'm saying? So seeing both of those sides of Shalom, it's just like, wow, it's almost like the same sides of one coin. Like, yeah, they're technically two different sides, but again, this is one coin, and it's one person being able to go from either side. Watching Emmanuel, when I first met him, the dude came in on 10. He came into the department on 10. And it was like everyone wants to work with Emmanuel. Everyone's doing scenes with Emmanuel. Emmanuel's in everybody's piece because the dude just came for everybody. Not in a malicious way, but in the sense of he was ready to work. Like, he was just trying to get down and eat. Like, the dude came in this joint hungry, and it was just like, wow, bro. Wow. Because it's not a competition. I want people to understand that theater is not a competition, or at least people who really get it. It's not a competition. It's not a matter of who can act best. It's a matter of telling the story the way it needs to be told. So if you have a bunch of people on a piece, it's not a matter of who's going to be the best actor out of that group. It's knowing where you fit in this puzzle and how can we make this puzzle fit together to make this beautiful image. And I am very much used to not being the center. I very much love feeding off of other people and just sitting back and watching, because you get to enjoy it in the moment as well. And then once you see it on screen, it all just comes together. So seeing the two of them work was just like, whew, it was just like two heavyweights just slugging it out. And then seeing Shalom and Sadia, it's just like, whew, it's like two heavyweights slugging it out. And then you see Emmanuel and Sadia, and it's just like, whew, it's like two heavyweights just slugging it out. Like, oh man, it was just so much fun just sitting there, like even hearing it off to the distance, because sometimes depending on the scene I had to wait in like the dressing room or wherever the actors were supposed to be at. Hearing it was fun. Like, one thing I noticed that I'm enjoying much more with film as opposed to theater, again, is the watching aspect and just sitting there and taking in what they're doing. Because most of the time in theater, you're on stage, depending on what your character is, you might be on stage the entire time. So you kind of have to be in that moment for however long that show is, from when they start to the final curtain call and you walk off stage. With film, it's so much start and stops. You have time to get out of the moment and get back in. Or depending on how committed you are and how into it you are, you can stay in it the whole time, but there are a lot more opportunities for you to be a spectator rather than engage. And being able to watch them, again, was just phenomenal. Now, I can't say all of this good stuff without talking about some bad stuff too. And I'm gonna talk about her first. I'm gonna talk about Sadia. I'm gonna talk about her first. The worst part about filming outside was we were filming at like the middle of cicada season. So if you watch the film, them niggas are loud as day. Like, you would think them youngers took the mic. It was just like, yeah, bro, I got something to say too. Because them youngers were just so loud. And y'all know that the whole spiel with cicadas, one, they can't see, so they don't know where they're landing once they don't know where they're going once they just start flying. I don't know why they fly in the first place. And we were near a lot of trees, which I guess is where they reside. They hang in the trees. So, every so often you'll find one kind of just land on you and you'll hear the wings flap or whatever. And it's just like they heard about Saudi and it was just like, yeah. It was just all over her, yo. It was so bad. It was so bad. There were so many instances where we had to stop one of like the PAs or like the sound guy or camera person or even one of us, like one of the actors, had to help her get a cicada off of her. There was one instance, one like flew up the dress that she was wearing. So it wasn't in the dress itself, but it was in between the dress and the mesh that was over top. So we're trying to like get underneath the mesh and she won't stop jumping. She won't hold still long enough for us to get that jump. It was one day I get to set a bit earlier than everyone else, and everyone's standing outside of my car. She has on her mask, and when I tell you one hits her in the mouth, bro, with her mask on, think about that. She was wearing a mask, and it hit her in the mouth. Imagine what would have happened if she did not have her mask on and that joint hit her bare lips. Like, bro, that joint. I've never seen a person jump in a car so fast. She jumped so fast into my car and refused to get out until it was time for us to go in. And even still, once she did, like, straight beeline to set. It was bad. It was bad, bro. Also, the last night of filming, the very last night, I had food poisoning. All right. The day started out kind of weird anyway. I wake up and I look at the call sheet to see who's supposed to be on call, because I heard it was a pretty early call time that we had, and I see that I'm on the call list. I call one of the PAs, Monique. I didn't realize that Monique was like getting ready to go on vacation. So when I called her, I could tell she was just waking up because you could hear it. So I'm like, "Yo, well, one, how you doing?" She was like, "I'm fine." It didn't click until afterwards. Like, oh yeah, she's not even doing a be there. So I asked, "Was I on call today?" And she's like, "Just look at the call sheet because I'm not sure." And I did, and I was there. So I'm like, "All right, I guess I'm running a little behind, but I'll still go." So I go to set, and I'm there for a couple hours. But I knew there weren't any scenes for me there, so I'm kind of thinking, all right, why am I here though? If there are no scenes for me that are on the call list, but I'm on the call list. I pulled the director and assistant director to the side. I'm like, "Yo, Angel, Alex, well, Angel, Alex is the director. She was assistant director." I say, like, "Yo, like, question, why am I here?" And they're like, better question, why are you here? Like, they're just as confused as me. And I'm like, my name is on the call list. And they're like, your name on the call list? I said, yeah, my name on the call list. They said, no, my call list. I said, well, what call list you got? They said, well, what call list you got? I said, I got the one that was sent to me on my email. I'll show it to you. I screenshot and everything. I said, yeah, it's right there. And they said, it is there, isn't it? That's a mistake. I said, oh, that's a mistake. You don't say. I never knew. Right? So they're like, you can leave and just be back in the evening. I said, oh, shoot. You ain't got to tell me twice. So I go ahead and, I get on in my car and I say, I'll be right back. I'll go ahead and leave. I think I took my lunch and I left. Right? So on my way back, I don't even think I ate the lunch. I can't remember what it was. I just was not vibing with it. No offense to them. It's not their fault. It's the caterer's fault. So I'm on my way back because I have to be back in the evening because we're shooting the ballroom and then the final scenes for the end of the movie. Because the ballroom is like the third to last scene at the end of that movie. And that's the scene where everyone's going to be there. Everybody. So I'm on my way back, and I don't like to rush. I like to take my time and really just go. So I'm taking my time and I'm going. But I'm still hungry because I didn't eat the lunch that they gave. So I say, all right, cool. I'm looking at my food apps just to see which ones I have. Let me just run down the list of the food apps that I have on my phone. Don't judge me. I have Chick-fil-A. I have McDonald's. I have Domino's. I have Chipotle. I have Panera Bread, Burger King, Starbucks, Taco Bell, Jersey Mike's, and Insomnia Cookie. Those are the current food apps that I have. Right? So, I feel like I'm about to burp. Excuse me. So, I decide, all right, we're going to Burger King today. So, I was kind of craving a burger. There was a deal on the app that said, hey, if you want a Whopper, we'll give it to you for 50 cents. But you gotta buy a chicken sandwich first. I said, really? Well, that's a gosh darn good price. That's a good deal. Like, I'm not gonna pass down that deal. Like, you buy a chicken sandwich, you get a Whopper for 50 cents? That seems pretty high. You know what I'm saying? So I go and I get it, and I'm pretty excited because they got a new chicken sandwich apparently, and I hadn't tried it yet. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're gonna get down, see what it's about. I eat the Whopper because that's what I'm really there for. I'm really there for the Whopper. So I'm like, let me go ahead, get that out the way first. That's number one. Eat the Whopper. Whopper was delicious, right? As it usually is. I get the chicken sandwich. I'm like, all right, let's see what this joint is hitting on. I probably would have been better off getting a spicy one. Spicy sandwiches are usually better. When it comes to chicken, the spicy is usually always better than the original. I say it with Popeyes. I say it with Chick-fil-A. The spicy is better. I take one bite of that regular Burger King sandwich, and I say, oh, this isn't gonna go well. this isn't gonna be good, yo. Like, it didn't taste good at all. But one thing I'm not going to do is waste food, especially food that I pay for. Doggone it. So I finish it. I finish it by the grace of God. I get to set and I'm getting ready to change and all that. When we did the dress rehearsal in these tights and these suit, bro, it was already hot in those, and we were outside in that space. So I knew for a fact I was going to be hot inside. I could have been in shorts and a tank top, and I was sweating, but not from the house. It was because something was happening in my body that shouldn't have been happening. I said, "Oh Lord." I said, "Oh Lord, this is going to be bad." And I know it's strictly from the sandwich. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I just need to, step to a bathroom and handle my business. Right? That's what I thought. And that's what I did. I went to a bathroom that was kind of off to the side that not a lot of people was using, so it wasn't a lot of heavy traffic in that area. And I handled my business. Did what I had to do. I was probably in there for like 15 minutes. Maybe longer. Only thing I had my phone. I think I was really just trying to get it out of me. And I did. I'm sorry if this is kind of much, but I'm telling the story. I got it out. Did what I had to do. But I could still feel it. Right? I knew I got it all out. But I just felt really bad. It felt like somebody was punching me in the stomach. I was really fatigued. I wasn't dizzy, but it was getting close to it. So I'm like, all right, let's just try to take my mind somewhere else, focus on something else, and it'll pass. You got it out of your system. You're good now. It'll pass. So people start showing up. We're going through our takes, and I'm just trying my best to be, the lively guy, the jokester. I'm killing it, by the way, in the joke department. I have that whole room laughing. I don't care what anybody says. Whoever was in Tale of Terror during the ballroom scene knows how funny I was, doggone it. They know how funny I was. They know I was killing everybody with these jokes. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I gotta do. Being the life of the party. Also, I wanna add on to that part and kind of go off to the side and say, I am a high functioning introvert. If you know what an introvert is, that's somebody that's very to themselves. They're not a fan of crowds. They very much do things on their own accord. So a high functioning, somebody calling me? Somebody's calling me, guys, in the middle of my podcast. They'll be all right. I will call them back. So a high functioning introvert is someone who can do all of those things. Like they can, who is all of those things. So who prefers to do things by themselves, who is the loner, who's not a fan of crowds, not really a fan of people, let alone meeting people, but can turn it on when they have to. Part of that comes from the fact that I am a performer. So being used to like, all right, it's not about, necessarily me. I gotta do what I gotta do to essentially entertain the people. And that's and I gotta do what I gotta do to socialize because of what I do. I gotta get used to socializing. So that's why I consider myself a high functioning introvert. Any other day, I'm quiet. I'm to myself. Don't say nothing to me. Nothing's wrong. I just don't have the energy to interact right now. I'd rather just be somewhere in the world alone. I don't feel alone. I just prefer to do it by myself. I prefer to be by myself. I'm not one of those people that has to do everything by themselves. But in terms of just day-to-day interaction, I do a lot of things by myself. Like just yesterday, I took myself to dinner and had a wonderful time. So, high functioning introvert. All right, so we're going through takes, going through this dance over and over and over again. Every other, just cut, reset from the top. Work on this. Fellas, look like that. Ladies, do this. Cool. Sell it with your face. Show on your face that you want whoever you want. Every time we reset, I feel worse and worse. Also, because I had actual dance shoes, so everyone else, and it was kind of bad. Everyone else had like dress shoes, but I thought we were supposed to have dance shoes because that's what they wore back then. Like they wore those types of shoes, so I wanted to be authentic to what we had. So that's, like I said, that's why I had these little dance shoes, and my foot I'm flat footed, so my foot's wide, and the heel was pretty narrow, so I don't got no space. These Jones ain't comfortable. Ain't no support. Just standing on hardwood. That's hard on my feet. So my feet are hurting. I got a bad knee that's recovering. That Jones starts hurting. The jacket they got me was too small anyway, so I couldn't even button it regardless. And then the back of it ripped. So now every other take, they're trying to retape me together just so we could get through, so there's not this gaping hole in my back. And then every time we get a break, I'm drenched in sweat. So I'm just trying to wipe off the sweat, and then slowly but surely, I'm not in the mood for joking anymore. I very much want it to be over. I think it was even at one point my sinuses started to close up. So it was now I sound all nasally talking to people. And it's getting later and later. One thing that you'll also learn about me is that I'm not a night person. I don't like staying out late. I will wake up early. I hate staying out late. If I have to stay out late for anything, I am not a happy camper. So if I am cheerful and I'm out late, you best believe that I feel some type of way for you. That you are good peoples in my book. If I'm willing to do things late at night with you. Whoever. Man, woman, group of friends, family. It don't matter. If I'm out late for you, I'm rocking with you. don't take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like sitting off to the sides, just trying to get some coolness. And then the dreaded, all right, reset. Every time it was like, So we finally get the shot done. We finally get it done. It's maybe like 12:30 at this point, past midnight, mind you. People are leaving. Only people that are staying are the core cast members. All of the extras go ahead and go on their separate ways. We have maybe two more scenes left. One of them including me and Delia, Miles and Delia. I think it took us maybe 3 takes, and then we were finally done, including the scene prior, 2 hours. That took a couple takes, so it's about maybe 1:30 by the time we are officially done. I finally walk to my car after I changed and all that. I sit in my car before I go anywhere for like a good 20 minutes. Just trying to just trying to luster up. Is it luster, mustard, buster? Whichever. Build up the strength, enough strength to drive home. I think it was only maybe about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But still, I need to make sure that I'm alert and awake enough and not exhausted enough to just, all right, F it. I'm going to just go ahead and just drift over and I'll find a tree later. So I finally get the strength. I get home maybe around 2 o'clock. And I just collapse into my bed, yo. The whole kill, this is also the kicker. The very next day, I had to get back up because we had to shoot promo stuff. Now, let's circle back to this whole high-functioning introvert thing. Because I'm a high-functioning introvert, whenever I have to be social, that takes a lot of energy from me because I don't do that. So if I have to be social, jokey around a lot of people, afterwards, the next day, I need time to recharge basically and to decompress all of that energy used to be that guy and just be all uppity. Not uppity in terms of like stuck up, but uppity just in terms of the energy. Because I would hope even just day to day, even with me being an introvert, that I'm pleasant to be around and I'm a nice person to be around and people enjoy my energy and my vibe. But that doesn't negate the fact that, what you see, this I'm gonna make you laugh, I'm a wonderful guy to be around. I am a wonderful guy to be around, but day to day, I'm a lot more quiet. I'm a lot more, I'll sit in a corner and be just fine saying nothing. It's not a matter of I don't like y'all, but, it's just not my preference, So, the next day, we have to shoot our promos. We're at Angel and Curtis's house. They have 2 levels to their house. I go upstairs and sit in one of the rooms and I don't even turn on the TV. I'm just sitting there on my phone, just chilling, because everything was left the day before at that ballroom scene. So we shoot the promos. Nothing to really speak much about for the promo stuff. That was chill. That was just like formality stuff. That was fun. The games were fun, so hopefully they post the rest of the games that we played, like I said, because those were really fun. And that was probably the best story I could give for those 2 stories with the food poisoning and Sadia with the cicadas. So that one that showed me it showed me, what am I trying to say? Words. What did it show me? It showed me, yes, this is what I love doing. I will do this literally all the time if that's my choice. Like if I had the choice, the option. But knowing that literally not every single thing comes with infinite pros. Every pro has its con. How you're able to look at it though It's just like, living your life for God. The pros is obviously you're experiencing God's love, you're experiencing His grace and mercy, and if you live like Him, being filled with the Spirit and all that, you're awarded with eternity with Him. One of the cons is you have to give up a lot of things, and you have to suffer through a lot of things as well, but you know what it's for. So when it comes to like my art, it's just like, yeah, the pros is I'm doing what I love doing. I'm able to tell these stories. I'm able to have fun through this process. But the cons is they take a lot of energy, and they can take a lot of time, and sometimes you'll have to sacrifice some things too. But again, the reward and seeing it is what makes it worth it. The parallels, that's how I'm able to see the parallels. It forces you to evaluate how you're taking care of yourself as well, and how you need to practice self-care. Which brings me into my sponsor for today. I'm going to talk to you guys about Body Treats by K. Self-care through body care. It's that simple. Body Treats by K is here to provide you with fun, effective, and delicious smelling products to help you with your skincare and to help you take your skincare to the next level. They offer body scrubs, bath milk, body butter bars, body shimmers, self-care accessories, ebooks, and their crowd favorite, lip lattes. I believe that's what it's called. That leave your lips exfoliated and soft. Now, I'm a black guy. My skin's not invulnerable though. Like, I have to make sure that I'm taking care of my skin, making sure my lips out here looking exfoliated and soft. And I haven't purchased anything yet, but I'm going to, because I'm gonna look into the little lip exfoliator, because I like having nice lips. I like having nice skin. A bath milk. I love cereal. Why would I not want to be like cereal? Just to list off some of the ingredients that she puts in her products: cane sugar, shea butter, grapeseed oil, avocado oil, cocoa butter, and so many more. So this is what I want you guys. Wow, this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to go to Body Treats by K. That's Body Treats with an S by the letter K.com, and get you everything I just listed. Get you a body scrub, get you some bath milk, get you a body butter bar, get you a body shimmer, get you some self-care accessories, get you even an ebook, get you a self-care ebook, and let K treat your body. We thank Body Treats by K for sponsoring this episode of the Thank You 5 podcast. Whew. Honestly, I don't want to do a whole hour episode. I know what my next episode is going to be about, because I have more stories to tell you guys about what I've been doing this summer with this starting a theater company, bro. Starting a whole theater company. That'll be his next episode. But right now, hopefully this was... I didn't talk about the DoorDash. I'm going to say that for the next episode too. I promise I will talk about it. I promise I will do it in depth on what happened to me the last time I door dashed, and I'm going to talk about starting a theater company, Youthful Dreams Theater Collective. I'm going to talk about that too. So be on the lookout. But right now, I think I've talked enough. May the Lord keep you. I love you guys. Thank you those that are subscribed. Make sure you like, share this video, share the channel, and subscribe if you're a new listener to the Thank You 5 podcast. I will do better with prioritizing. Other than that, again, thank you all, and thank you 5.